Has this ever happened to you? You're playing some Mario Kart and you are absolutely cooking a Michelin quality dish of your own dust for the poor soul in second place to eat. You're about to cross that finish line and you get blue shelled. Alright, now that's annoying, but hey, just some bad luck. Won't happen again, I'm sure. So you load up another race and it happens again. And again. And again. What? Are you serious? Enough? No! So, what's going on here? Is it a matter of warped perception? Is there some sick sadist at Nintendo who just wants to watch the world burn? Or is it just bad luck? Well, I figured the people have suffered long enough. So I decided to dive deep into the game's code and solve this mystery for good. And it turns out that, no, the game isn't purposefully screwing you over at the last possible minute. It's accidentally screwing you over at the last possible minute. This is Mario Kart's strange item system explained. Richard, hit that intro. Okay, when you're talking about Mario Kart items, it's important to clarify which game you're talking about. For the first 6 games in the franchise, it was pretty simple. Every time you pick up an item box, you get a random item from a small pool based on your current place in the race. So for example, in Mario Kart Wii, if you're in first place, you can get a single shell, some bananas, or a fake item box. In second, you could also get a mushroom or a bomb. But you also have an increased chance of getting an offensive item to try and overtake the person ahead of you. And this continues all the way down to 12th. In this system, a blue shell can only be acquired by someone between 4th and 8th place. And the odds are set in stone for the whole race. There's no malicious code waiting for the perfect moment to give Funky Kong a heat-seeking missile with your name on it. There are always exactly 5 people who can get a blue shell, regardless of how close you are to the finish line. No blue shell curse here. Almost every single game in the series uses a variation on this same system, including the new Mario Kart World. But Mario Kart 7 and 8 decided to do things a little differently. This time, your item pool isn't determined by your place, it's based on your distance from the person in first place. If you're half a lap behind the leader, it doesn't matter if there's 10 cars ahead of you or just the one, you'll always pick from the same pool. Now, in Mario Kart 7 and 8, this system was pretty straightforward. But Mario Kart 8 Deluxe added an extra wrinkle in the form of double item boxes. As you probably know, because apparently every single person bought this game over its 8-year lifespan, Deluxe allows you to hold on to 2 items at once. And while the game never explicitly tells you this, if you're already holding one item and pick up another, it will never give you the same item that you already have. So, a clever player can use this to subtly manipulate the item odds. Sure, you could spam that coin right away for the slight boost to your top speed, or you could hang on to it for a little while to ensure that your next item is something actually useful. Now, on the surface, this distance-based model seems like an improvement on the old system, since it's a more accurate measurement of your placement in the race. In a neck-and-neck race where the top 6 are all clumped together, it wouldn't be that fair to give the person in 6th some OP item. And on the flip side, you could be in last place, but still keeping up with the person in 11th, or you could be miles behind and really need some extra help. And this system can do that. It does have some downsides that we'll get into, but also a lot of oddities that you might not expect. Like, for example, did you know that the computer players pull from a completely different item pool than you do? It's true! Not only do CPUs have different percentages for certain items than a player-controlled racer would at that same distance, they can even have whole items added or removed from those pools. If you're in the lead in a Grand Prix, you can only ever get a banana, green shell, red shell, mushroom, horn, or coin. But a CPU in first also has a 5% chance to get a triple banana. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows for our CPU competitors. Well, in fact, that's really the only rainbow that they get. Most of the time their items are just worse. For instance, it's physically impossible for a CPU racer to ever get a triple red shell or a crazy 8. If you have seen one, it means one of two things. You've changed the item pool in some way, or it wasn't a computer player after all. So, probably that first one seems a little more likely. Also, real quick before we continue, don't worry, this isn't an ad. Well, I mean, it kind of is an ad for me, because the channel is getting super close to hitting 50,000 subscribers. So if you're liking the video so far and want to see more like it, then maybe click that button below this video. It's free. You can always change your mind. And I just think it'd be pretty cool. All right, enough of that. Now back with the video. Now, I alluded to it earlier, but these item pools are also affected by the mode that you're playing. Grand Prix have slightly different odds than a versus race that you might do online. And for some reason, the sample races they show on the title screen have a completely different system that's more in line with the placement pools of the older games, which could suggest that this game was originally going to use that same old system, and they just never changed the title screen programming. The more you know. And obviously, the battle mode also needs its own item system, because there's no first place racer to measure against. Here, the game uses some other metric to determine your item pool, like your number of balloons or how many coins you have. And unlike in races, the time left on the clock does change the available items in a battle, slowly unlocking more powerful items like the star and the triple bananas for struggling players as the game goes on. However, the race mode has no such system. So let's get back to the main question at hand. Based on the code, the odds of you picking up a blue shell at a set distance never changes. It's exactly the same in the first lap as it is in the last lap. But your odds of being hit by a blue shell does change. It's kind of weird, and it's not some intentional mechanic programmed in, nor is it some loophole in the game's code. It's a loophole in the laws of physics. Let me explain. In general, the further you are behind the person in first, the higher chance you have of getting a blue shell. For the most part, there does come a certain point where the game figures you're so far back that you couldn't care less what the person in first is doing, but for simplicity's sake, let's say that nobody's doing that bad. And let's also assume that your average speed throughout the race is proportional to your skill at the game. If you're able to make all the turns without slowing down, you're going to be going faster on average than someone who's constantly hitting things and going off the track. Well, speed is simply a function of your distance traveled over time. So doing a little rearranging, that means that we can calculate the distance you've traveled by multiplying your average speed by the total time that has elapsed. At the very start of the race, when the time is low, everyone is going to be pretty close together. Even if you're way better and faster than the person in 12th, you simply haven't had enough time to get that far ahead. But as the time goes on, the more skilled players with the higher speed will travel significantly further than the less skilled players. Therefore, the distance between them will increase, and the odds of them picking up a blue shell along with it. And in a race with 12 people, the longer it goes, the more people will fall into that blue shell zone. So while the odds of any one person getting a blue shell might not change, the odds that someone behind you picks one up does increase with time. And the point at which the time is the greatest is right before you cross the finish line. So while it may not be explicitly programmed into the game, you are statistically more likely to get blue shelled right at the very end. Somehow, the blue shell curse is real. So the next time you have a race stolen from your grasp, take heart in knowing that it wasn't some personal attack, it's just a matter of statistics. I mean, I don't really know how that's supposed to make you feel any better, but yeah, I mean, that's not really my problem, is it? Wait a minute. If your odds of being blue shelled is at its highest right at the end, and we're almost at the end of this video, then that means, oh man, I think it is my problem. Oh, I gotta go. Richard, no, Richard, where's my horn? And of course, a massive thank you to all my supporters on Patreon, including Alex, Alakazam, Big Dog Ty for the win, Captain Kirby, Sidian, Sherry and Mark, Stylish, The Boss Killer 94, Ty Studio, and Moki Ubu.